Earlier today, we got the UFC 304 pre-fight press conference. It featured Leon Edwards, Belal Muhammad, Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blaydes, Paddy Pimblett, Bob Green. We're going to break it down. I'm going to give my reaction to it because let me just start off with this, and this is not being hyperbolic. This was one of my favorite press conferences of all time. I absolutely love this press conference. I am in love with this press conference. I absolutely cannot believe my eyes. I just watched it a little while ago. I wasn't able to watch it live. And this press conference blew me away. I may go on 4 different devices and buy this pay-per-view. That's how much I love this press conference. And I know you're waiting for me to say, oh, I'm just being sarcastic. I'm not kidding at all. I know it sounds like I'm kidding. It sounds a little facetious. I'm being dead serious that UFC 304, the pre-fight press conference, was one of my favorite press conferences of all time. We're going to talk about that a little bit later because I want to talk about each fight. I want to let go of some gripes I have. We're going to take a look at a couple clips from the press conference as well because you had Dana White discussing the future of the winner for Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes, potentially taking on John Jones. You had a clip of a media member outright embarrassing himself with some really kind of dumb questions. You had Dana White just appearing outright checked out, and a couple other clips we're going to take a look at. One being the stare down between Leon Edwards and Belal Muhammad, because in my opinion, Leon Edwards absolutely embarrassed himself during the stare down, but we're going to talk about that when we look at the clip later in the video. And we're going to talk about a bunch of takeaways I have from this press conference. By the way, guys, if you enjoy these types of videos, please let me know down in the comments. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. I'm sorry that this is coming out late. I just finally had a chance to watch the press conference, which was 15 minutes long. I wonder if people are going to complain about that. It just seems like these press conferences are getting shorter and shorter. I figured I would make that notable. Let's start off. Let's go fight by fight. We're not going to go in chronological order. Let's go fight by fight. Let's start off with Muhammad Mokaev and Manel Kape. These guys have some real heat between them. They recently got into a brawl in the hotel, some type of altercation. I don't want to call it a brawl. I haven't even actually seen it. And there's some real heat between these guys. They are 2 top 10 flyweights in a #1 contender fight who have some real kind of animosity between each other. Oh, wait, they weren't at the press conference. I did an entire video on this. Muhammad Mokaev is fighting out his deal. This is his last fight on his contract. Apparently, the UFC isn't taking too kindly to Mokaev, it seems. I did a video about it. I'll link it down in the description. So it appears that Mokaev is being buried on the early prelims. Now, that may have changed because about 8 hours ago, Dana White posted his video, on his Instagram, hyping up 304. And in the background, it had Mokaev and Kape on the main card. But either way, they weren't at the press conference. Now, for me, I don't particularly love the WWE antics or the crazy trash talk. But what I can enjoy occasionally is some real kind of anger between 2 fighters, some real heat between 2 fighters, not manufactured. I don't need a fake Colby Covington trying to think of the most shocking things that he can say, like a 12-year-old online troll, to try to get a rise out of his opponent to manufacture some drama, all to just sell under 400,000 pay-per-view buys like he did against Jorge Masvidal, according to the Sports Business Review Journal. So I don't need that. I would prefer some real. If we're going to get some back and forth, I want some real heat. I don't want to feel like I'm being sold wolf tickets. Okay. So it's a real missed opportunity that they didn't have Muhammad Mokaev and Manel Kape on stage. I think it would have been interesting. And on top of that, again, 2 top 10 fighters, elite of the elite, #1 contender fight, and some heat on top of it. What more can fans ask for? I feel bad for the fans who actually look forward to that type of stuff. They should have been at the press conference. Next fight. We have Bob Green versus Paddy Pimblett. They've been talking mad shit about each other in the lead up to this fight. They didn't say a damn word of it at the press conference. It was basically Paddy Pimblett saying, oh yeah, Bobby Green talked about me first, and he mentioned my name first. And then he basically said it's facts. And then Bob Green said, oh, I was just taking the piss, which I think is UK slang for joking around, is what I understand it to be. I've heard it a few times. But yeah, that was it. And then Bob Green's like, yeah, I love you, Manchester. I love you, UK. And Paddy Pimblett's like, yeah, we're going to shake hands afterwards and we might get a cold one together. And it was just like, okay, all right. I mean, what more do you want me to say? I don't particularly care if they talk trash or not, but I know a lot of people were looking forward to that. So It was kind of weird, though, just the dynamic of, okay, they're at each other's throats on, like, social media and interviews, and then they get up there on stage and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to get a cold one after this, brother. You know, and Paddy talking about his name, his dumb name change and whatnot. But that was pretty much it. They both said it's nothing personal. They didn't say anything insulting to each other, and I have no problem with that at all. I think it makes the fight better. We're going to actually talk about that a little bit later, but that's pretty much it for Paddy Pimblett and Bob Green. They asked, you know, Paddy at one point, the media tried to lay up some drama. They were like, how do you feel about Bob Green saying you're spoiled by the UFC? And he's like, I promoted myself. I promoted myself. I pulled myself up by the bootstraps. I didn't sit around waiting for another grown man for 2 years only to not get the fight because of a broken pinky toe. I've been here knocking dudes out and beating dudes, and I'm see you at the top. You know, that's what Paddy Pimblett said. I'm paraphrasing there, okay? That's a bit of an exaggeration and a paraphrase. But you get the point. One thing Bobby Green did do, and we're going to take a look at that clip later in the video, Bobby Green asked for 100K bonuses, and it appears that Dana White gave into 100K bonuses. So for UFC 304, we're going to get 100K bonuses. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's move on to the co-main event, Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blaydes. Nothing, really. I mean, really nothing. Tom Aspinall was kind of reveling in being in the UK, and, you know, he was happy to be in Manchester. Curtis Blaydes was nothing but polite about Tom Aspinall. At one point, Curtis Blaydes was talking nicely about Tom Aspinall, and the crowd's just booing him. By the way, the crowd was kind of, like, they were decently loud, but honestly, I thought they were kind of shit. I thought they were kind of tame, to be quite honest. There were some interactions. We'll talk about that a little bit, but they were booing Curtis Blaydes while he's being complimentary to Tom Aspinall. Very bizarre. One thing Tom Aspinall did say, and I could see Dana White's butthole puckering as he said it. Tom Aspinall was asked something about, like, do you believe you and the guy to the left of you are the two best heavyweights in the world? Kind of a slight at John Jones. And Tom Aspinall was like, yes, I do believe that me and Curtis Blaydes are two best heavyweights in the world. And Dana White said, Tom, I respect your opinion. You're the interim champion. But John Jones has got a dark side to him. He's got 2 German shepherds. He shoots guns. If you see him out on the streets and you got a can of spray paint in your hands and you're a teenager trying to do some graffiti, he'll smack that bottle out of your hand, tell you to go home. He is the pound for pound. If you were an educated adult. Okay, I'm just making fun of Dana White here. You know Dana White was tight when he heard Tom Aspinall say, yeah, we're the 2 best heavyweights. With Dana and his entire, you know, recent rants about John Jones being the pound for pound and the GOAT and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Tom Aspinall said, look, I believe we're the 2 best heavyweights in the world, which I know has definitely got under Dana's skin and definitely got under John Jones' skin, probably a little bit. And that's all just a polite way of Tom Aspinall of baiting John Jones to fight him potentially. And they asked Dana White about, will the winner of Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blaydes, fight John Jones, the winner of John Jones, Stipe Miocic? We're going to take a look at that clip. The answer was yes, but we're going to break it down. It's not as straightforward as that. And then, you know, there was really just mundane questioning, you know, oh, are you excited to rematch him or fight for the title? And he's like, Curtis Blaydes is like, yeah, I just want to fight for the title. And Tom Aspinall unveils he's going to have one of the greatest walkouts of all time. And that was it. That was it for the co-main event. There really was nothing there. Then you have Leon Edwards, Belal Muhammad. Listen, I got to be honest with you guys. Completely honest with you. And I know some people are somehow going to think I'm some type of Belal Muhammad fanboy or I hate Leon Edwards. I've defended Leon Edwards so many times on the channel when people are saying he didn't deserve a title shot against Kamaru Usman. Leon Edwards and the whole headshot dead is dead. It's corny. It's embarrassing. It's the Dana White, you know, oil him up meme all over again where Nina Drama and Dana are leaning into. It's just embarrassing. The crowd was chanting headshot dead. And right off the jump, it was right off the jump they were chanting that. Leon's acting like a superstar. And I don't think people understand this is why I think Leon rubs Belal the wrong way. Is because not only does Leon kind of big time Belal, like, oh yeah, you know, and act like it's weird. I can't explain it. And someone will have to let me know. Let me know down in the comments if you guys agree with what I'm saying here. And we're going to talk about a few instances of it at this press conference. But Leon almost acts like he's everything that Belal Muhammad's not. Like, look, I'm the elite of the elite. I'm out there brutally KOing guys and having exciting fights. I'm a big draw. Nobody knows you, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And Leon is just, another version of Belal with just different skills. And then you have Leon acting like Belal didn't deserve the title shot. So it's just bizarre. You know, throughout this press conference, it was like the headshot dead, and then Leon's making the gestures, and then the crowd's chanting it, and Leon's saying it and giggling like a little schoolgirl. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But I'm just saying the way he's acting like Leon, I feel like this is the only way I can phrase it. And then we're going to get into some of the things they said. Leon almost acts like he's a massive superstar when he's quite frankly not. He acts like he's a Conor McGregor, and he has 2 title defenses. And nobody actually cares about him except hardcore fans. And that's the facts. So, you know, they asked Leon, this is one thing I did like of the media. They asked him, look, Leon, you've been very dismissive. You've been very dismissive of Belal Muhammad's skills, acting like he's shit, acting like he sucks. Well, then what does that do for your legacy if you beat him? Because I hate when guys do this. When guys act like the guy they're fighting is shit, and then they beat him and act like it's the greatest win ever. Or when they act like a fighter they're fighting is shit, and then they go to a tough decision with them, or they lose. Now, what does that make you? And Leon just says, oh, well, it's just another guy, you know, on my resume, basically. You had Belal asked, oh, what made you think Leon was scared in the elevator? And he says, oh, I could just smell it on him. I could smell the fear on him. Leon was asked, were you scared of Belal? And he's like, no. Dana was asked, look, oh, this was funny. This was actually one of the funnier moments that we're going to take a look at here in a second. But after we get through kind of what they said, literally in a second. He was asked, oh, the fans want you to headline an arena in Manchester or the UK, because kind of implying that Leon could headline an arena show, which is hilarious. And there was like a crowd interaction. I'm not going to do it justice explaining it. We're going to look at it in a second. But the crowd was completely dead, by the way. And Dana White actually called it out, which was hilarious. Belal said, shout out to Spain. From what I understand, that's a reference to, I guess, some soccer game. Spain beat Manchester, I guess, or a UK team in some important game is what I understand, what I saw on Twitter. Leon said, I would have finished Belal if it wasn't for those eye pokes, which is just so dumb, dude. I swear, this entire press conference came off like Leon was some like crazy finisher. And like, again, it goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning of this. Like Leon was saying, yeah, I would have finished Belal if it wasn't for those eye pokes. Well, why'd you eye poke him then, bitch? And then he's like, yeah, Belal's coming into this emotional. He's slow. My openings are going to be there. I'm going to finish this guy. And Belal was just kind of saying, why are you whispering? Speak with your chest, which I actually didn't mind. I hate when a fighter comes in who doesn't speak English and then they're, you know, try to speak a little bit of English and then the opposite opponent's like, speak English, speak English. I think that's just dumb. It's just the low-hanging fruit. But I did think it was all right that Belal's like, look, dude, speak up. Speak up. Why are you over there whispering? And Belal had, you know, a couple decent lines like, you know, basically saying, oh, I'm going to headshot dead you on Saturday. I mean, it's not really decent, but he was kind of talking a little bit of shit to Leon, and Leon really was just sitting there dead silent is really what I'm trying to say. The lines weren't great. It was really in the stare down. Belal embarrassed Leon, but it was just like Leon just sitting there kind of like, okay, just dead silence. The one thing that Leon did say, and then we're going to look at this clip as well. It's this, you know, a couple of these clips are all like a 1 minute portion that I'm going to show you of the press conference. Was when talking about the 100K bonuses, Belal like said, oh yeah. And then Leon said, oh, you're not going to get a KO anyway. So you don't have to worry about it. Belal kind of making, this is what is crazy. It's kind of what it's making. It's Leon using all the fan tropes against Belal, essentially saying he's no name, he's boring, he doesn't have finishes. And the fans say the same thing about Leon. But that was a good line from Leon. Belal really didn't have an answer for that. So let's jump into some actual clips. We're going to start off with the clip where Dana's asked about John Jones or the winner of Curtis Blaydes, Tom Aspinall. Are they going to fight John Jones? Let's listen and react.
You know, this is an interim heavyweight title fight. Can you confirm the plan is the winner of Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blaydes fights the winner of John Jones, Stipe Miocic?
Absolutely.
Yeah, look, that's the body language of a man you can trust. Listen, Dana's just trying to give the fans what they want. And when I say give the fans what they want, I mean just kind of pacifying them, because he knows damn well the chances of John Jones or Stipe Miocic ever stepping in the cage with Tom Aspinall or Curtis Blaydes is never going to happen. So don't get all excited. Don't be clicking on MMA farting or MMA junkie or any of the clickbait, legacy media sites that are like, Dana White confirms Aspinall Blaydes winner will fight John Jones, Stipe Miocic winner, because it's most likely never going to happen. So don't buy into that too much. Now, the next clip I want to show you is really just Dana checked out here. I wanted to highlight this because he's asked, is this one of the biggest cards in UK history? And listen to Dana White's response.
Yeah, probably. We broke the gate record here. It's not a long history of gates here in the new arena, but yeah, the main and co-main are Brits. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Listen, I know that may not seem like much to some of you guys, but the fact that Dana's just like, yeah, main, co-main, Brits. Back in the day, it wouldn't have been like this. Dana would have been, and I'm literally going off the top of my head here. Dana in the past, let's say 2014 Dana, 2015 Dana, who wasn't, have power slaps so far up his ass, would have been like, yeah, this is one of the best cards of all time. You have Leon Edwards, 13-fight unbeaten streak, defended his title against Kamaru Usman after taking the belt off Kamaru Usman, who's one of the greatest of all time, taking on Belal Muhammad, who's on a 10-fight unbeaten streak. Say what you will about personality and fighters being interesting and talk trash. Belal doesn't talk much trash, but he gets in there and backs it up. He's on a 10-fight unbeaten streak. This is two of the elite welterweights. Then you have Tom Aspinall. He's a new breed of heavyweight. He's fighting Curtis Blaydes. These guys are the future of heavyweight. We got Jones and Stipe coming up. We hope that the winner takes on one of these guys. But if not, the winner of this fight is the future of the heavyweight division. And just hyping up the card with facts. I'm not even asking him to sell wolf tickets or lie. I don't want that. I call him out for that. But instead he's like, yeah, two Brits. Of course. Look at the gate. Nothing pisses me off more when Dana brags about the gate and then the fans cheer. I almost want to say something I can't say on video. Nothing pisses me off more than that. Because he's basically saying, oh, we're jacking up ticket prices, and the fans are like, hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. It just drives me nuts. But it just seemed like, I know I'm being a little bit picky here. And again, this was my favorite press conference of all time. We're going to get to in a second. But it just seemed, look at this. There's no enthusiasm. He's thinking about power slap right now. He's thinking about John Jones' German Shepherds. He's thinking about John Jones slapping graffiti cans out of, teenagers' hands. That's what he's thinking about right here. He doesn't even care. It's sad. It really is sad. He just doesn't care. That's the vibe I got from Dana. It just seems like he's checked out. Next clip. This is where we look at kind of the bonus talk here. I actually think it comes right after this, so I'm just going to play it. Where we get Bobby Green jumping in and asking about bonuses, 100K bonuses.
Uncle Dana, let's spice it up a little bit. Can we get 100 G's for it? We're not going to do it. Can we get 100?
Here we go.
Can we get 100?
Go.
Let's spice it up a little bit.
Oh,
Let's
do it.
Leon says yes.
Let's go. Going to Greece.
Question for Dana.
Here's where Leon says what he says about Belal.
No, don't worry about that. You're knocking no one out.
So there you go. You don't have to worry about that, Belal. You're not knocking anyone out. So 100K bonuses. Let me just say this. How long have bonuses been 50K? Dana's talking year after year. And this almost is warrant of a dedicated video. I know this video is actually going way too long for a press conference reaction, but I got so many points to make here. How long have the bonuses been 50K? Dana's talking year after year. Oh, the growth of this company. This company's so big, and we went from 4 billion to 12 billion, and we're growing. And wait till you see what we have for the next 2 years, and the profits are soaring. And this motherfucker's been giving out 50K bonuses for 20 years. We can't raise them. Raise them to 75K. What about inflation? Raise them up, Dana. But it seems like every press conference now we're just going to have this, and Dana's going to say, hell yeah. Because guess what? They're making money hand over foot for these events, even events that aren't going to sell a lot, like UFC 304. They're making a shit ton of money, and then they're just, 50K bonuses. 50K bonuses. This is the structure we're going to have. So it's time, and this may be a video for the future when there's not a lot going on. It's time to raise bonuses to at least 100K, in my opinion. Maybe 75. I think it should be a 100K stock bonus. I think it would encourage more exciting fights and fighters to take more chances. Next clip we're going to take a look at is the most humiliating, embarrassing clip I've seen a media member in a while. I mean, this was so bad. By the way, you see Belal doing the headshot that we heard that the entire press conference.
Can I do a quick test for everyone in this building?
So right before this, just for context, I'm not playing the whole thing. He asked Dana, "Are you ever going to go to a stadium show in the UK?" And Dana said, "Oh, well, we always, you know, we do them sometimes, or I'm not the biggest fan of them." And this was the media member's response.
Would you all like to sell out Wembley Stadium with the UFC?
Look how embarrassed. This is also humiliating for Leon. Look at Leon trying to hype up the crowd here.
All like to sell out Wembley Stadium with the UFC? They want to see it, Dana.
Like 1/3 of the crowd cheered.
They still wanted to see
that
it.
wasn't unanimous.
Facts. Nobody gives a shit. The fans are going to be like, "Yeah, we really want you to go and sell out a stadium." Like, who the fuck are these guys? I'm actually pissed off. I'm making a video longer than the whole entire press conference talking about all this shit, but this was the best press conference of all time. The media embarrassed themselves. Last thing I want to take a look at is the stare downs, because the stare downs, I really think this is where Belal really embarrassed Leon. Leon tried to act like a tough guy. He tried to get a reaction out of Belal, and Belal just stood there and stared at him, stared into his soul. Watch, Belal does the headshot dead to Leon right here. Does what Leon did to Kamaru Usman, and then watch Leon's response. Dude tried to buck at him. And Belal didn't even move an inch. Let's actually look. Let's slow that down. Let's slow that down real quick. All right. Let's slow that down to half speed. All right. Let's rewind. Let's rewind that back so we can see how badly Leon just embarrassed himself. Watch this no reaction. I'm gonna mute it because it's gonna sound weird when slow motion. Watch the no reaction from Belal. Watch the no reaction here. Belal didn't even blink there. And look, it's just funny because Leon's been talking about how Belal is not intimidating at all. I'm going to be honest, from what I saw at this press conference, and I don't want to sit here and act like an armchair psychologist and act like I can read people's minds. What I saw here, and this may come to pass, we'll see, it may not be true. Maybe I'm looking for confirmation bias for my predictions. It showed me that Belal's dialed in. It showed me that Belal's ready, and it showed me that I think Leon's a little bit too dismissive of Belal Muhammad, and it makes me even, I'm being dead serious, watching this press conference made me even more confident in Belal Muhammad. Now, that could just be a mirage. I don't know. But you have Leon being so dismissive of Belal and how he doesn't, you know, he's not scared of Belal, and Belal's old and slow, and Leon's a killer, and Leon has like one more KO career than Belal, and Leon's, you know, only recent KO is against Kamaru Usman, and that was like 3 years ago. So, like, to try to big time Belal like that is just weird. But yeah, I'm way more confident in Belal after watching this press conference. Now, last thing I want to cover before I go, this video is already too long. The reason this was my favorite press conference of all time is because I love this card, and we don't need fake manufactured drama. I know Belal and Leon threw some little jabs at each other, right? Fair enough. I really don't think Belal likes Leon because of what I kind of laid out earlier. Leon trying to big time him and say, oh, well, he's boring and he's old and he doesn't deserve a title shot. Even though Leon himself, like 2 years ago, was almost in the same situation as Belal, and Leon was crying up a storm, and now he's kind of pulling the ladder up behind him, for lack of a better term. And I think Belal actually doesn't like him for that. I don't think he's like super emotional about this fight. And what I love about this card is Leon Edwards is one of the best in the world. Belal Muhammad's one of the best in the world, and he's a legit deserving contender. Tom Aspinall, amazing heavyweight, future of the heavyweight division. Bit overrated right now, but fair enough. It doesn't matter. You know, I understand. He went out there and brutalized Sergey Pavlovich. Taking on Curtis Blaydes, very interesting matchup. Paddy Pimblett, Bobby Green, a very interesting matchup. We have all these interesting matchups, and we don't need WWE-style bullshit. We don't need people bringing up people's dead dads. We don't need people calling each other homophobic slurs. We don't need that. We can sit back and enjoy what an amazing card this is. And the fact that there was no real super corny, outside of the headshot dead stuff, there was no real like forced manufactured drama where you felt like, oh, they're really trying to insult my intelligence and sell me a fight. It's what made me love this presser. I don't need that. I just care about, okay, Is this two of the elite? Is this an interesting style matchup? And that's it. That's all I care about. So I'm happy that we don't have, Leon or Belal forcing some weird narrative, down our throats. I'm happy Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blaydes are super respectful. That's a great matchup. I'm happy that Bob King is going to test Paddy Pimblett to see how good he really is. We don't need the WWE bullshit. And that's no offense to some people who love WWE. I'm just saying, I don't need personality to enjoy these fights. I'm enjoying this build-up. I'm enjoying this anticipation. I can't wait for Saturday night. I'll be live streaming the entire UFC 304 card. If you care to watch it with me, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Let me know what you guys thought about the pre-fight presser. Sorry for the video being too long. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching.